Great article from Politico. We were all right. They said unemployment was 4.2%, but if you filter this...
All right, guys, great video by a great content creator that I follow. I'm going to add my own story on this because I don't share a lot of information on it personally, but I'm going to give you guys some back. I've been officially unemployed for 4 years. My unemployment started as a result of the pandemic. Why, you might ask? Now, this part I've told before, which is I worked for a fairly large auto dealership group within the Colorado Springs area. That group decided to ignore state rules about social distance and everything else. They were actively allowing customers to go on site when they shouldn't have, so they could sell vehicles. This includes letting people do test drives in close proximity to salespeople. Multiple managers for the dealerships, I'm forgetting the word now I'm looking for, GMs for the dealerships, got the vid and still showed up to work, and I had to be in close proximity to those people for the job I was doing. As a result, I lost my job due to subpar work performance, which is something they pushed around to every person that decided not to show up or couldn't show up due to the vid. So anyway, beyond that, the unemployment portion, I took unemployment for about a year and a half before that dried up and was gone. Because, you know, our federal government made sure that anybody in need was pretty nuked from that. Now, I know there's going to be detractors saying, year and a half, you should have found something. Yeah, so I work in IT, and those jobs have been slowly dwindling. Like year after year, less and less. And the pay has, too. So as that content creator pointed out, sure, just, you know, I'll go get a job, right? But the problem is when IT jobs for people like me that do the common work, which is necessary, you guys like people that call IT companies for customer support, you guys like talking to an actual person. That's what I do. I do troubleshooting. I do on-sites, that kind of work. Well, here's the problem. They want to pay us $15 to $17 an hour. That's the average wage to do things like be on call 24/7, be on site, and do a litany of other tasks. Jobs that used to pay upwards of the mid 20 an hour range, gone now. And then those jobs are just reduced. They've reduced a lot of those positions. So there's no jobs there. Now, again, detractors might say, well, maybe you should just move to a better area. I'd love to if I could afford to. Unfortunately, jobs don't pay people like me relocation costs. And if they do, it's such a small amount, it's not enough to even get a place to rent. Now, I'm lucky enough I own my home, but that leads to a weird predicament. I can't sell my home for a value because I'll be upside down in selling the home, like most people would be, or I break even. And moving is too expensive. Where am I supposed to move where there's going to be any more jobs, right? And so then you get false equivalencies. People are like, well, you should move to California. Tech jobs there pay $30 an hour. Granted, they do. They do. But when the cost of living is closer to a $80 an hour range, it doesn't really work, does it? So for those wondering, what do I do right now? I do resell is what I do as a business. It makes about what a minimum wage job is. I've talked about that before, but back to what the content creator in that previous video was saying, yeah, it's more like 23.7%, as a Politico article pointed out, of an inflation. It's not 2-3%. It's gotten worse. Jobs are drying up. And with our Republican leadership wanting to cut funding to a lot of sectors, those jobs aren't coming back. We're going to see a reduction in jobs continuously. So get ready for things to get much worse. But there are far less jobs. The unemployment rate is much higher than what they're reporting. And oddly enough, we haven't heard a jobs report from the Trump campaign. That's really interesting. Where's that jobs report? But yeah, there's no work. Again, I'm at least 4 years at this point. I may be a little bit longer, but at least 4 years of being unemployed officially. Not for lack of trying. I've put out thousands of applications over that time, and there is just nothing there. You want to know what's available in my area here in Colorado Springs? You know what's available? They want people to do about minimum wage in some cases to do Medi-Right services. They need a lot of nursing staff. They need a lot of doctors, a lot of dentists. But other than that, law. They need a lot of lawyers. They need a lot of, attorneys, stuff like that. But the common jobs, they ain't here, guys. And I know it ain't just this area. They ain't here. Not survivable wages anyway. And for the nurse positions and stuff, I'm pretty sure those are vacant because of either cuts, ghost jobs where they're not actually existent, or the pay rate is really bad. So anyway, that's what's going on here, and I wanted to add my take to that. I try to get information out as I can and tell my side of things so people can understand, but yeah, it really is ridiculous. So feel free to leave your comments below. If you're in my area, let me know what you're seeing and what difficulties you're having. I'd like to know. I don't do too many Colorado Springs specific videos, but I'm getting a little more brave around here of posting that information. about location. So please feel free to leave your information here. I'm going to tag this one Colorado Springs actually, but please go watch other videos. Sorry for the length of this video, guys. I make longer content. I am sorry. It's just I like to talk and I like to get stuff out. So anyways.